I will explain how to overcome and be set free from addiction and emotional pain. Addiction and obsessive behavior is merely a symptom of the underlying problem that a person is trying to medicate and suppress. Emotional dysfunction is rapidly increasing in the complex world that we now live in. The following information has the ability to transform your mind. You will become more successful in both your personal and business life. You may have addictions and obsessive behavior in your unconscious mind that you don't even realize you have. This behavior could be greatly harming your life and you don't even know it. Once you overcome this emotional pain, you will be a much more successful, productive, and peaceful person. The definition of addiction is a chronic, obsessive, relapsing disorder characterized by compulsive seeking of a substance or emotion despite harmful consequences. Addiction to drugs and alcohol is not the only type of addiction. It's much deeper. Let's start by listing the most obvious things that people can be addicted to. Then we will discuss some of the less obvious. The more obvious ones would be drugs, alcohol, pharmaceutical medications such as anxiety, depression, pain, and sleeping pills, caffeine, nicotine, harmful sex, pornography, forbidden taboo desires, eating unhealthy foods, sugary drinks, gambling, obsessively watching television, sports, and video games, mindless internet and social media scrolling, obsessively overworking where it begins to neglect relationships, money, cosmetic surgery, makeup, and shopping. All of these can be forms of addiction. They are medicating the true problem. Addiction is a symptom of the real underlying emotional pain and tormenting thought. Of course, mind-altering substances such as alcohol, drugs, and pharmaceuticals are in a category of their own due to their ability to make you physically impaired and also have legal implications while operating a vehicle. Yet all of the above list can put you in an altered emotional state, cause cravings, induce nervous impulses, and have consequences. There are also emotional addictions and behaviors that are less obvious, such as the addiction to worry and fear, and also to a false sense of love and affection. This is when you develop unhealthy, toxic emotions to mask the underlying problem. For example, someone who is desperately lonely due to past family trauma is always looking for a new relationship and has fear of abandonment. Or someone who lives in fear because of their past shameful act. They are addicted to living in fear so they don't have to face the reality of their shameful past. People like this can become addicted to having power and control over others. There can be a thought in your unconscious mind that is severely harming your life. We will now discuss the subject of pornography and sex addiction. This has become an epidemic. Recently, pornography and casual sex has become mainstream and somewhat accepted, but pornography and harmful sex is not new. It is an ancient, dark spirit. Pornography and casual sex is free because you pay for it with your soul. It is the deceptive, predatory trickster. It allows you to feel a forbidden power over another and to operate in secret. Pornography and harmful sex corrupts and reshapes your mind and body. Pornography is online prostitution that is brutalizing people sexually on the internet. When you watch pornography and engage in harmful sex, you are serving the creature, not the creator. There is a serious, dark energy involved with pornography and harmful sex. And when you engage in it, you open a door into the spiritual world. It can be a form of occult, and those dark spirits can attach to you and give you depression, which can lead to suicidal thinking. In order to break free from this toxic behavior, you must face your own inner darkness, shame, loneliness, and the desire to have power over others. You must identify the root cause of your emotional pain and then break self-destructive patterns. People crave to feel something other than emptiness. They desperately want to fill their life with noise so they don't have to listen to the silence within. Don't run from the emptiness and silence. Listen to it. This is when the power and breakthrough begins. Instead of chasing sexual desire, chase the mastery of your own mind and body. Pornography and harmful sex is a weapon designed to destroy your soul. An important question must be asked in the healing process. When you were a child or a young adult, were you ever abused? If the answer is yes, then there is deep work within your own mind that needs to be done. There is a specific method to overcome this trauma. There is no shame or condemnation for a person who is seeking help. Emotional pain usually begins in a person's early years from a family problem, such as an angry father, and the child becomes scared, isolated, and always avoiding confrontation. The child is overloaded with emotions that they are too young to process, so they develop self-destructive behaviors that lead to addictions to mask their emotional pain. Someone could have had a parent who harmed them, and then the child becomes addicted to anger and takes it out on other people. Or the anxious and depressed mother, where the child becomes the unhealthy caretaker and must always show immense amounts of love and support. The child takes on more emotional burdens than they can bear, so they develop self-destructive behavior, which will generally lead to some kind of addiction. The mother or father wound carries a heavy darkness that people try to suppress and medicate. Self-destructive behavior will cause severe problems in all relationships, especially marriages. People with addictive and obsessive behavior will have sexual problems, jealousy, and infidelity. Infidelity can cause children to be born out of a different father than they think is theirs. These type of family situations cause deep generational darkness. Addiction can be generational, that is passed down from learned family behavior. You would be shocked at the information that lives in your unconscious mind regarding your past and family generations. The obsessive, tormenting fear of sickness, death, and catastrophe is one of the leading causes of addiction. This is a serious psychological disorder that must be overcome. If it is not overcome, it will rob you of your destiny. I can explain in detail how to overcome this. People can also become addicted to focusing on world events, politics, business, and institutionalized religion to distract them from their own personal pain and problems. They use it as a mask to give the perception of power, control over others, and also to show that they are in control of their own life when they are not. People can also become addicted to being offended and by playing the victim and being heard. They engage in endless, mindless talking and focus on external problems. This is the wounded little child inside of them, acting out their suppressed pain from their childhood. The addicted type of person develops false personas, where they always live as a false self and are never truly authentic. They don't do this intentionally. It is learned behavior over their entire life. It is a psychological survival mechanism. In order to be healed from addiction and emotional pain, you don't have to become someone else. You have to stop being someone else. The addiction is not your true identity. When you begin the healing process, you will enter into a peculiar stage where the old you has died, but the new you has not yet been fully born. And you are in a type of psychological limbo where nothing feels like it has meaning and you feel confused. This stage occurs right before the breakthrough, and many people relapse into old behavior before their new birth truly takes place. When someone has been addicted to something and then recovers from that specific addiction, they must stay totally physically and emotionally sober for the rest of their life. Many people switch addictions. For example, they quit drinking alcohol and then become addicted to sex and pornography, or they quit the pills and then start smoking marijuana. If you stay in the addiction cycle, you will never be truly healed and will continue to suffer from anxiety and fear. This is because you merely dealt with the symptom of addiction, but not the underlying emotional pain. The toxic patterns of problem relationships and never achieving true success will continue. In order for you to overcome addiction and emotional pain, you must identify where it originates from. You have to confront what you have been running from your entire life. You must face the fear or shame that torments you the most. Addiction anxiety disorders can mask themselves as physical and mental health issues. Once addiction and psychological disorders are overcome, these symptoms go away. In the healing and growing process, you must remove toxic people from your life who refuse to grow with you. They will drain your life force. Some people in your life would prefer that you stay addicted and emotionally sick. This way, you are more easy to manipulate, control, and blame for problems. Deranged people want to destroy the mirror that projects their own image back to them. By you staying sick, they can continue living in their own dysfunction. Once you have confronted your darkness and begin to advance, you will finally come to the conclusion that living a clean and wholesome lifestyle is the only way to truly feel better and have lasting results. You must discipline your spirit, soul, and body, which means to be spiritually connected with inner peace and have a body that is in good physical condition. I have a great love for people who are struggling, and I have developed a highly effective program that will transform your life that includes nutrition, fasting, sleep techniques, meditation, spiritual practices, sweating, reading certain material, enlightening the mind, weight loss, strength training, and natural supplements. The program trains the mind and body. You will overcome addiction, fatigue, anxiety, fear, guilt, shame, anger, unforgiveness, weight problems, and physical pain. People who have suffered from trauma or addiction have great potential to be able to unlock the true power of their mind. Your wound becomes the source of your wisdom. The wounded becomes the seer. Once you heal, a rare personality type can emerge. One that sees reality with brutal clarity and intuition. You can develop powers within your mind to excel and succeed in life. We will discuss this subject in much more detail in the coming episodes. Please share this message with someone who is struggling. Healing and newness of life is possible.